Hi friends, welcome to Intentional Living. Today I'm going to be closing out my November budget, letting y'all know how my spending went, and just closing out the month so that I can move into December and start fresh. So today we'll just be figuring out what my spending looked like, where all my money went, and how I did compared to some previous months. So if you're interested, stick around. Okay, so I'm going to start just by giving y'all an update on all of my bills and things that happened this month. So this is my monthly calendar of everything, and everything pretty much went according to plan besides a few things. I did have a J.Crew credit card payment that I told y'all about because I bought some new pants and I used some birthday money for that. I did get a haircut, which I didn't budget correctly for, so took that out of my personal care sinking fund. I had an oil change scheduled and then I showed up and they said the wait was 3 hours because they were busy. So I rescheduled for December because I just didn't have 3 hours. And other than that, I transferred all my balance transfers to my Citi credit card that were eligible for the 0% interest promotion deal. So I met that deadline. And other than that, everything else pretty much went according to plan. I had 2 goals this month. One was to not spend out of my sinking funds, which I did not accomplish because of my haircut, and I think volleyball also messed that up. And then another goal is to keep my spending and my bills less than $2,000, and I'll show y'all why, but that also did not happen, which honestly is fine because it's the end of the year. There's a lot of things and expenses I have at the end of the year with the holidays, so it's whatever, but I did not meet those goals. But that is kind of it for this calendar. Now I can give you all an update on how my budget looks. Okay, so looking overall at my monthly budget, my paycheck was expected to be around $2,700, and it was just $10 more than that. Tutoring, I didn't budget any income for that, and I ended up making $320 this month just through tutoring. I did end up having to transfer some things from a short-term savings account, which is because I'm trying not to spend a lot out of my sinking funds, and the goal was to not pull anything, but I pulled 145, which I'll talk to y'all a little bit more about in a minute. And then I have $48 of other income just through either like birthday gifts or selling things. So in total, I had $3,293.05 come in that I actually track on this spreadsheet and share with you all. So for my bills, everything went according to plan, except I did pay for like an app on my iPhone, and that was $3. So that's the only reason these numbers are off a little bit. So yeah, not bad down there. This is where I got into trouble. So for groceries, I spent all of that money. So week 4, I went through all that money for groceries, and I ended up spending it on like eating out and things while I was visiting family. Eating out, I overspent by $28. Flex funds, I overspent by $17. And gas, I underspent by $25-ish. So that's not too bad. So it makes up for like eating out. Essentially, those kind of like cancel each other. And then special expenses, I spent the full $100. So this is where I got into trouble. So I had an unbudgeted amount of $145 that I covered through that savings transfer. And those things included paying for a birthday gift for somebody, paying for some other things that came up, Black Friday shopping, or other things that I did this month that I just was not expecting. So I did overspend by that much. And then I also had an unbudgeted of $140 that I covered through tutoring money. So of the $320 that I made, I was only able to put $180 towards debt, and I put the other $140 to cover the spending things that I did, which a lot of the $140 was conscious choices because I decided to reward myself for getting through a really hard season at work and for taking on so many tutoring hours. So I think what I'm going to start doing is with my tutoring money is I'm going to put like a percentage towards debt and then give myself a percentage to either spend or put into sinking funds. So I'm going to stuff that probably once a month in my envelopes for y'all to see. So that will be a new addition to my budgeting, I think, moving forward, just because I am making a good amount of money and I do want to put as much of it towards debt, but I'm starting to feel myself burn out a little bit, and I want to be able to keep to keep on track to pay off my debt early, and I think I just need a little more wiggle room in my budget to be able to do that. So I was expected to spend $640 in spending, and I actually spent $946, which isn't great, but given the increases in my income, it's not that bad. Oh, some of this money too is for birthday things, like the J. Crew credit card payment and things like that I spent on birthday, which I had some money given to me for, and yeah, so it's all included in that. So then my sinking funds, I filled those as expected, no changes there. For extra debt, I had always planned to put $284 on my Citi credit card to try and get that dollar amount down so I could make a big balance transfer. And then I put $145 after the balance transfer. I put $145 towards my Bank of America credit card for extra debt payments, because now I'm switching my focus from the Citi card to the Bank of America card now that I've transferred a bunch of money. So I want to get my Bank of America credit card paid off, since it is still collecting about 19% interest. So before the balance transfer, I'd put another $35 towards Citi just from tutoring, again, just to get that balance down before the transfer. And then I sold something, so I put $20 towards my Bank of America card. So instead of $284, I did $484. So I did an additional $200 on top of the additional $284 on top of my minimum payments. So I'm super proud of that number. I really didn't know it was going to be that high, so that was really exciting to see. And then I put the $4 towards the savings challenge, nothing in my emergency fund, and it left me with like $14, which I really don't know where that is, so I probably messed up somewhere in my spending. But if it is extra, it's just sitting in my bank account. I really have no idea why I'm off by so much, but that is kind of a little look at my budget and what spending looked like for me. So the next thing we'll cover is my debt payment plan worksheet in the Budget Moms Budget by Paycheck Method workbook. So I already filled out some of this, and that's just to help me as I go through the editing process to put this video up online for y'all. So I did fill in just like my interest rates, my minimum payments, my priority number for paying these off, and the balances on these. Because my student loans are frozen right now because of the government's forbearance. There's 0% interest, so I don't have to pay anything, so I'm not. So they're just the same as they were last month. My iPhone only went down by its minimum payment, which actually this is wrong. So that should be, okay, so now that should be right. $320.18. So it just went down by minimum payment because I'm not paying more than the minimum right now. So that is all of this. So what I'm going to update with you all is what my new Bank of America credit card balances and my new Citibank credit card balances, and go through and fill out the rest of this worksheet. Okay, so for my Bank of America credit card, the new balance on this card, or the current balance on this card, is $2,832.68. And my Citi credit card has $3,199.99. So compared to last month, let me show you October. So compared to October, we had over $5,000 on my Bank of America card and less than $1,000 on my Citi card. So this just reflects the fact that I had paid this one down. I transferred a lot of money out of this card onto that card. And the reason for that being is this has 0%. So the more I could get on this card, the less I'll pay out in interest. So I'm really glad that these numbers have flip-flopped, where this is the lower balance because this is the one with the high interest rate. So this is like so cool to see, because I know my interest, the interest that I'll owe my next payment cycle is going to be so low compared to what I'm used to paying. So that is really exciting. So this is just a picture of what my debt looks like. And then down here, we're going to look at how much I actually paid for towards my debt. So obviously I paid all of my minimums because I need to. And then I only paid extra payment amounts for Citi and for Bank of America. So for the Citi card, I put $284 towards that card as I had planned to. And then I was able to do another $35. So in total, I paid $319 towards this card. I'm just going to say November because it doesn't matter. And then for my Bank of America card, let's see, I was able to put $145 from tutoring and then $20 from selling things. So I was able to put $165 extra towards that card in November. So total debt payments this month was my minimum payments. So I had $145 on my Bank of America card, $35 on Citi, and then $22.87 on my phone. And then extra payments were $319 and $165. So in total, I put $686.87 towards my debt this month, which is a lot. So then last month, my total debt balance was $11,508.47. And this month, my total debt balance is, let's add up those. My total debt balance is $10,977.17. So I'm under $11,000, which is really exciting because when I started, I was at $13,000. So I've already paid off over $2,000, which is really awesome. So let's see what the difference is. So my total monthly progress is $531.30. So that means of the $686 that I put towards debt, only $531 actually made a difference on my total debt balance. And that's because of interest. So the high interest on my credit card, my Bank of America credit card, as well as I had to pay a balance transfer fee of about $76 to transfer the money from Bank of America to Citi. And that's okay with me because literally my interest on my Bank of America credit card is always, or has been, over $76. This past month, it was like $80, and next month it'll be much lower because of the transfer. So for me, it's like that's 1 month of interest that I was already accruing anyway. So I pay that one time, and now that buys me 12 months to pay off the $3,199 interest free. So totally worth paying it in the long run. But it means a smaller drop. It means that this money went not as far because I had to pay for those things, but that's okay. So now let's see, the total debt monthly progress is going to be my $531.30 divided by my total debt from the beginning. So that's $13,201.38. So that means that I paid off 4.02% of my overall debt this month, which compared to last month, let's see what I did last month. Oh, wait, I already have that out. So last month I was able to do 4.2% and pay off a total of $554. And so this month it's less, and that's just because, again, of those fees that I talked about. Okay, so this month's total debt balance is the same number as over here, $10,977.17. So let's see what the difference is of these two numbers. So the difference, my total debt progress is I've paid off $2,224.21, which is awesome. So that's $2,000 in just August, September, October, November. So that means on average, I'm putting like $556 towards debt every month, which is way higher than the $450 that I had budgeted for. So that's really exciting. So now we'll take that number and divide that by my overall debt. So that means that my overall debt progress in total is 16.85%. So I'm 16% through paying off my debt, which is really exciting. I cannot wait for the 25% mark because that is going to make me smile a lot. And this is for my overall debt, so this includes student loans. So the goal is not to get to 0% at the end of 2021. My goal is to get to 0% for credit card debt, which is only a portion of my debt. Okay, so when I started, I had $8,050 in credit card debt, and right now I have 2832.68 plus 3199.99. So that means I have paid off $2,017.33 of credit card debt. So let's divide that by the total debt, credit card debt amount. This is the number I was waiting for. So now I'm more than a quarter of the way through paying off my credit card debt, which is my goal to do that by the end of 2021. So that means at this pace, I will be done well before the end of 2021, because it will not take me the same amount of time as I keep going, because I'm going to be paying out less in interest. So my money that I put towards debt is going to go farther. So it's going to start snowballing, and my payments are going to pay off more of the principal and less of interest. So I'm going to make more progress faster the more that I pay off my debt. So that's really, really exciting. So I'm going to pay this off probably by before October of 2021 if I can keep at the same pace that I am now. So that is super exciting. But more to come on my debt updates in a debt payoff update video that I'm going to do specifically to talk y'all through all of those things and my plan, and all of that is coming soon. Okay, so the next thing we'll talk about is the Where Did My Money Go worksheet. The first one is the monthly budget category breakdown. So we had a starting balance in my accounts of $107.30. This was the income that we discussed in the budget. And then that means overall I had $3,400 as my total monthly income. So groceries, we had budgeted $200, spent $200. So the difference on that is $0. And the percentage of income is just going to be that $200 that I spent divided by my total monthly income, which is 5.88%. You know what? I'm just going to round these. Let's just call it 6% because that is easier. So basically, I'm going to go and do this for all of them, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, so now I'm going to go through and highlight the ones in green that I did well on. So for groceries, we did well because we spent $0, or we stayed on budget, and it's 6% of the budget. Eating out, I overspent, so we're going to do that one in red. Same with flex funds, we overspent there. Special expenses, we stayed on budget, so that's good. Gas, we underspent, so that's good. And then unbudgeted was $285, and that's not that great, so that's negative. Bills, we went over by $2, which is really fine, but I'll do it in red just for consistency. Savings, we were right on track. And then extra debt, this is negative, but that's a good thing because that means I put more money towards debt, so I'm doing that in green. And that is all of that. So some things that I wanted to also track is what percentage of my budget was for bills and spending. So I spent $1,336.18. Actually, I can just add up the percentages. So my bills were 39%, and then I'll add up all these. So my bills and spending were 67% of my budget. My savings is this 15% in my sinking funds plus the 3% in my starting balance. So that's 18%. And then debt payoff, for the purposes here, we'll just do the extra debt payment. So that's 14. And that's 99%, which is off just because I rounded. So looking at this, I think that bills and spending, this is a really positive thing because my goal was to keep this under 70%. And then savings, I wanted to do around 20%. So I think that's really a good number. And then for debt to be around 15% was also a goal of mine. So these numbers overall, I'm very happy with. So I will take November as an overall win. So that is my monthly budget category breakdown. Next, we're going to do my monthly debt and savings breakdown, which I've already started to fill in. So for debt, the total monthly income is here. My total monthly debt payoff is this number here, which I got from the other worksheet. So the percentage of my income that went towards debt is 20.20%, which is kind of funny because it's 2020. So I thought that was hysterical. So for my debt, this is the total amounts I put towards each. You'll notice these numbers now include minimum payments as well, and then this minimum payment. So we'll go through and just see the percentage of debt that this went through and see if it lines up with my priorities. So I put $310 of Bank of America towards Bank of America of the 686.87. So that is going to be 45%. So for me, this really does touch on my priorities because I wanted the majority of my money to go to Citi in the beginning of the month so I could transfer things. And then halfway through the month, I switched priorities and started focusing more on Bank of America because of the high interest rates. So this is perfect in my eyes in terms of how November could have gone. And then for savings, this is the amount without retirement. This is the amount with retirement. So total this month, I put $840.43 towards savings, which is 23% of my income. And this is assuming we're including retirement in savings, which I don't include until we do this breakdown, just because I do want to kind of see what my actual savings is beyond just what I share with you all. Now we'll go through and do the percentages for each of my savings funds. So the majority of my savings went to retirement, which is great because that is definitely something I want to prioritize because of my employer match program that exists. The next highest savings amount is in my starting balance for December in my bank accounts, which I'm really excited for because I do want to keep a cushion in those accounts. So that is good. And then my next highest is travel and vacation, which is awesome because that is also my next highest priority in terms of, in my eyes, followed by Christmas. And then the rest of them are just like small percentages. So those really do align with the goals that I have for savings this month. So that is really good to see. And then the last worksheet is the last Where Did My Money Go worksheet, the monthly spending comparison. So I've already put in here my monthly income change, which increased by almost $200, and that's because of tutoring. Here are all my October number breakdowns and all my November number breakdowns. So now I'm going to go through and see the change, and then we'll talk about it. So my groceries, I spent $31 less this month in groceries, which is great. I spent $28 more in eating out, which is not great, and $90 more in flex, which is not great, and $40 more in special expenses, which is also not great, but also I did budget for that and I stayed within budget. So I don't know, we'll give it a little green. Gas was up by $6, which I don't think matters because I was still within budget. And then unbudgeted was up by $18. That's really not good. My bills went down by $59, and that's because I probably went to less counseling sessions, and I think I went to less things at my gym maybe, so that's why it was less. I increased savings by $20, which was really good, and I increased my debt by $48, which was also good, and my starting balance was higher, which I consider savings, so that is also good. So overall, savings is better, spending is worse. The hope is once I am allowing myself to use my sinking funds, I'll be able to pay for these overages out of sinking funds rather than transfer from this other savings account that I have. So overall, not bad for November. I feel much better doing my worksheets because as I was spending, I felt like I was overspending constantly. And so seeing it on paper and seeing that it's not as bad as I thought is really comforting. So yeah, overall, I'm feeling pretty good about November, and the next video I'll have out for you all is just an update on my debt payoff, and then we'll jump into December and start budgeting and then start cash stuffing because I need to do that soon because I need to go to the grocery store. So that video might be out later this week, even though I'm probably going to film and do all that either today or tomorrow. But I hope that you all are doing well. If there's any other types of videos that y'all would like to see from me, leave it down in the comments. But I am doing all my normal budgeting videos, and I'm also working on a Christmas DIY video for y'all. But if you have other ideas, let me know. And besides that, I hope you like and subscribe, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.